If you could sit down with someone that's made every potential mistake in building their business and team and finally got it right, and by right, I mean $200 million in volume, $5 million in GCI, 7 extraordinary salespeople, 4 great admin teammates, and a VA, what kind of questions would you ask? Well, I know the questions I'm going to ask. Welcome to the show, my dear.
Thank you so much.
So it's been a few days since I saw you in Miami recently. You and Brian, we had dinner with a bunch of our, friends and coaching and having that wonderful time on the boat. For the people that haven't connected with you, how long have you been selling real estate? Where do you sell real estate? And then we'll get into all the nitty gritty. We want to talk about like team building stuff here today. Okay. So tell them who you are, where you're from, and give them the scoop.
Okay. My name is Lefkowitz. I'm from San Diego, California. I started in real estate as a hobby in 2005 in San Diego, just trying to figure it out, hold an open house here and there. Slowly figured out that this is a full-time career, not a part-time career. And here we are today, 2022. Built a team, built a brokerage, tried everything, failed at everything, started over.
How do you say all that with such a beautiful smile? Failed at everything.
It's been a fun journey.
Yes.
And honestly, it's taken a lot of, twists and turns. It's been a roller coaster, but I feel like we're in the best place we've ever been as a team. And it really has changed my whole life. So,
Emma, I think you just gave the person listening right now some hope, right? Because so often we make mistakes and then we turn it into a part of our identity. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, did I tell you back in 2009 when? Oh, did I tell you about this? And that's why today I am. You seem to be like, I made all these mistakes and this is exactly why I am. Like, how does one get that perspective?
It's an attitude, right? Yeah. I mean, you decide that there's going to be hard times. Things are going to be rough. There will be mistakes along the way. Nobody is perfect. We're human, and we give ourselves grace, and we move forward. And fortunately, I've made so many different mistakes that I now just stumble, fall, and get back up again. I literally trip almost every day. I'm very clumsy. I tripped yesterday and hurt my back, and I'm like, okay, well, take some Advil, move on. That's not my story for the day. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to get on a plane and come see Tom Ferry. So,
where did that come from? Like, is that like your parents? Like, what's the origin story of this attitude?
I think it is my parents. I think it was my upbringing. I think my parents are immigrants. There's no time for, sadness and crying. And we don't sit around and think about the sad things. We move forward and we continue to build and grow. So yeah, I do think it came from my parents.
Where were your folks from?
Ireland originally. Okay. So I was actually born there, which is a small part of my story. Born in Dublin, moved to San Diego when I was 2. And my parents left everything behind and started new in San Diego. They wanted to give their kids the American dream.
Right. That's probably at 2 that was easier, right?
Yes,
do you have any older siblings?
2 older siblings, 2 older brothers, who were 6 and 10 at the time. Yeah. So for them it was a much bigger move, transition. Yeah. But all of us have fortunately flourished. Yeah. And my parents, they pushed us hard. They wanted everything for us. They wanted us to go to college. They wanted us to have a business. Right. And so that's where I think it comes from, is there just was never time to be, sulk. There was no time for sulking.
Right. I think that's such a blessing. I know for the person listening right now, like any one of us that either was raised in a different environment or you come from a different country and you show up here and you realize like anything is possible. Yeah. And I know as I say that someone right now might be listening like, oh, you don't understand my story. Well, maybe you need to change your story.
Yes.
Did you have to change your story at all?
Yes.
Like when you first built a team and it didn't work?
Yes.
Right? When you built your brokerage and you're like, this is why they call them broker, right?
Exactly.
So give us some of the mistakes you made just to give so people can even have more richness for you.
Yes. So one of the things that has helped me to rebuild my story over time is listening to people on stage at events like Summit and coming to, even the smaller mastermind groups with you, just hearing people's stories and saying, wow, they did that. I can do that. That is huge. Just seeing other normal average people who came from maybe something or maybe nothing, but they built incredible teams, incredible lifestyles, and saying, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And that's been, that has really hit me hard and made me realize that I can do anything I set my mind to. And that's huge. So from the brokerage to the team, just all of that was mindset. It was, okay, I'm going to build a brokerage. I've seen people do it. I know I can do it.
Right.
Let me go out, get my broker's license, hire a coach. Obviously transformative to have that Tom Ferry coach behind me and build a brokerage. And then within 2 to 3 years, realizing, wow, this was a terrible idea. This is really hard.
Right.
And it's a lot of stress on my shoulders, and I don't sleep at night, and I'm making no money. Why did I do this?
Yeah, because you went from selling a ton. So why did you decide to do a brokerage?
I think it was...
And I'm not knocking for, there's a broker out there listening like, hey.
Hey, no, brokerages are great if you do them right. I think there is a right way to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't have a team in my brokerage. So that would have been the model.
Very traditional model.
Totally.
90% splits in San Diego.
Exactly. Giving all the money away.
And if you don't have an escrow company, a title company, and a mortgage company, you make no money.
Which at the time I didn't. And then I learned because I listened to some smart people who said ancillary services are where it's at. But that took years to get there.
Yes.
And I had to make all the mistakes along the way.
Right.
And I learned that I like the support of being in someone else's brokerage. And I like running a team versus a company. So big shifts, but I had to go through all of that to get to where I am today.
So I talk a lot about scars, right? Like, I've had multiple surgeries in my life, but I think of scars as like lessons, right? Like, or wrinkles and scars, and it's because we've lived, we've gone through hardship, we've dealt with situations that, maybe some people would crumble, and we were able to rise above that.
Yes.
You clearly have that in spades. So I appreciate you kind of sharing a little of the, the hard part of it all. Talk about today for the person that maybe is listening right now, and maybe they're reimagining their team. We talked off camera about what needs to be in place in order to really build a great sales team. So shed some light on that. What needs to be in place before I do it?
Yes. So admin support is so important. And I think we joke especially at Summit, we joke about, hey, should I hire an admin? Is it time?
Right.
Yes. You should have done it yesterday.
Yes.
The admin support and having that operational team, the sales team behind you allows you to go out and sell more homes.
Right.
And if you want to be a successful salesperson, you have to have a successful team behind you.
So what do you start with? Okay, actually break down. You have four people on your admin team. So what are the roles? What do they do?
So we have a transaction manager who does all of the from contract to close work. So she takes the file once it's in contract, takes it to close, both on the buy side and the sell side. She does everything. Then we have a buyer's admin. So this is a bit unusual. She writes all of our offers.
Oh, I love that.
So she writes offers for the whole team, which allows me to feel confident that when those offers go out, they're perfect. So it might be a little bit OCD. And if my name's going to be attached to an offer, it has to be perfect. So.
Okay, so I want to stop and just talk about this for a minute. So is this because your agents were writing such wonderful offers that you were like, let me just get them even more support? Or what was sort of the reason behind this?
So the impetus for this was when the market was super crazy these last couple years, and you had to write a stellar offer in order to get your client's offer accepted. We had to go above and beyond. We had to get creative. We had to make sure our offer was perfect, the presentation, the way it was sent to the agent. And the only way to control that was for me to have someone in-house writing those stellar offers.
There will be thousands of team leaders that listen to this, and we could literally just go like this. Mic drop. Stop right there. Yes. I'm going to call Tom Toole afterwards. We, as his coach, we've been working on the sausage making of, every offer has to go through the Slack channel in order for everybody, two sets of eyes on it. Then we could kick it back, right? All these things, but it could just be a buyer's admin who is responsible for perfect offers. I love that.
Yes.
Okay.
So she's the perfect offer writer. We recently brought in a VA just to support her.
Even better.
And so when she's not available nights and weekends, her VA writes the offers. She still checks them, or I check them if she's offline, but there's always someone 24/7 available to write offers for my team.
That is so smart. Okay, what's the third? So TC manager, contract to close, buy side, sell side, a buyer admin who is really offers.
That's it.
Plus
That's
a VA, job. So it's 24/7.
Plus a VA.
What's
and
number 3?
Client care manager.
Okay, so what's that? I know those words, but what does that mean?
So she loves on our clients. That's her whole job.
Okay.
She buys all of the gifts for closings and also gifts along the way for referrals, for agent referrals, for whatever we need a gift for. She has a formula. She orders the gifts. She ships them out. And she just takes care of the people.
You have your own full-time giftology person, basically.
Yeah.
Right? That's so
in-house,
smart. So smart.
She's fantastic. She's part of every transaction. She knows what's going on in the office. She's there to support the team in the gifting way.
Yes.
So, and also if I need to gift the team she will also pick up gifts for the team, which is great.
Does she buy like birthday gifts for your family? And
no, we haven't gone that far yet. I need that role. That's family manager. That's on my list of hires for this year. I need a family manager.
What's
and then
number
4? Ooh, gosh, you stumped me.
TC, buyer admin support, VA, client care, marketing.
Thank
I was
you,
like, hello,
Chandra.
marketing.
Marketing manager. We have an amazing marketing manager who was actually a referral from another Team Plus agent who knew someone and sent them our way.
Awesome.
Which has been the best referral ever, better than any client ever. So marketing, she does all of our marketing, social media, print, flyers for open houses, literally everything. And that's huge. Amazing.
So I want to come back to the question, which is, you said you need to start with admin, and now someone's like, oh my goodness, she's got like that, like just the cost structure of those 4 plus a VA in Southern California, right? It's got to be pretty hefty.
It is. It's a big payroll, and that's why our team has to pull the weight.
That's why you got to. People need to sell houses. People so you did $200 million in volume, $5 million in GCI last year. If the person's listening right now, so often, you see it. People, Emma, how did you do it, right? And you're like, well, okay, first you hire this one, then you hire this one, because in the beginning you hire one and you try and make them do all of that.
Oh yes, and then they leave.
Is that okay to start?
No. You have to have a plan, and you can't overwork the person. That mistake I've made multiple times until I figured that out. You can't ask one person to do all 4 of those jobs and expect them to be successful. Okay. They burn out. I
just literally said this to my client yesterday. Are you expecting to find a unicorn?
Right.
Because unicorns don't exist.
They
right?
Don't.
You got to break down the role and say, this is what I need. So could the person listening right now say, I'm going to outsource to a TC company and I've got that one handled? So if I had that, how would you value rank marketing manager, client care manager, buyer offer written manager if you've got a team? How would you value rank? Which one goes second if TC is handled?
So the admin role, whether it's your admin as your TC or your admin as your buyer's agent support person, that's number 1. That's number 1. Because if you can outsource marketing for sure. Right. You can outsource client care, giftology. There's lots of websites that will.
Client Giant, I think, is another one. Shout out to Client Giant.
I just heard about that one. Yeah. So there's a lot of good websites that you can do set and forget and get your client on a gift management team, and that's it. Yep. So a lot of it can outsource. Having someone to support you, whether that's someone back in the office writing your offers while you're out showing clients. Right. So we talk a lot about highest and best use of time. My highest and best use of time, it took me years to figure it out. But basically it's being in front of clients, whether I'm at a listing appointment or out with buyers or just networking. Right. That's where I should always be. So if I'm there, who is writing the offers? Who is inputting the MLS? So that person needs to be your first admin, is the person who can fill in the role while you're out in front of clients. That's it.
Answer the phone, write offers, take care of this, yes. All right, so that's super impactful. The next question is, so once I have that in place, everybody wants to race and out and go hire salespeople. And it's across the board. Some people only want experienced people. Some people only want brand new agents. Some people want people 3 years or less in the business that have sold like 7 to 10 houses, maybe aren't too tainted. We can give them leads. Who's your ideal salesperson? Like you have 7 and you have very high retention today. Who's your ideal?
So our ideal is, and that we've created an avatar with our coach, but the ideal is basically 1 to 3 years in the business, selling around 10 to 20 homes a year, but hasn't really tapped their full potential. Right. And our value proposition to them is we can help you to sell 30 to 50 homes a year with our formula of success and leveraging our past success. Right. So that's our value proposition. If we can find that person 1 to 3 years, they don't usually have bad habits yet. Maybe they do, and we can try to undo some of that. But we have to teach them kind of the Barron way, which, is doing things our way. And if it works and they get it, which we see within 3 to 6 months, amazing, they stay with us forever. Right. If they don't get it and it doesn't work, maybe their ego takes over, maybe they're too much of a driver, whatever the case may be, then we say, this isn't the right fit. Thanks for being here. Good luck to you. So that's what we figured out.
How do you have those hard conversations?
Ooh,
being a leader, like this is so no, you're not.
I hate hard conversations. I hate confrontation.
Let's have one. That's why I have you on the show today, Emma. Brian and I were chatting. Brian is her partner, business partner, her office husband, as he was once referred to.
Yes.
But you got to have him.
No, we do. And depending on who it is, Brian will either do it together, which is important, or I'll do it if it needs to be a really soft conversation. If it needs to be a hard conversation, it's all Brian because he's got the hard edges.
Yes.
But the conversation is this isn't the right fit for you or for us. So the conversation is, we think there's a better place for you where you'll be more successful.
Yeah.
This is not the place. I literally did this once and the person said, no, I want to stay here. I'm happy here. Thank you. And walked out. And Brian almost killed me. The conversation is we think there's a better place for you where you'll be more successful.
And this is a loaded question, can we be too nice as leaders?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And is that a bad thing? Is it bad to care that much or not be trampled on, but be too nice?
Only if you're being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
If people know you're going to be so nice that they're able to then use that against you, yes, that's a bad thing. If they know you have a huge heart and they can come to you with anything, that's the perfect way to do it.
Yes.
And there's a fine line, and I don't always get it right, but I try really hard.
So you sell your brokerage, you start back up as a team, right? Pretty quickly. And 159 transactions last year. That puts you, top 20 in San Diego, I'm guessing?
We were number 6 last month in
San Diego. You're number 6, but shut up, coach. Not that you're competitive,
just
right?
Number 6.
But so top 20, right? So number 6.
Yes.
There's a lot of great agents and a lot of great teams in San Diego. You've, a couple of people I've talked to have this sort of mindset of I want a smaller team, right? Like SEAL team, we've talked about it many times before. What is your mindset about that? Why SEAL team versus, 60 people, 16 people, 80 people? There's no right or wrong. I'm just curious.
Yeah. So, we were up to 22 agents when I had the brokerage. And I was running around a chicken with my head cut off.
Yeah.
And I was miserable. I didn't like that. I felt spread way too thin. So when we rebuilt the team from the ground up, we said, let's keep it small and strong and tight. And for us, it's the secret sauce, keeping it small. Anytime we grow too big and we get up to 10 agents, we lose our attention to detail, we lose our quality, and we just can't love on our agents as much. And the team doesn't like it either. So the team loves to keep it small. Yeah. They feel in control. We feel in control. Clearly, control's a thing. I keep using that word.
Clearly. Hashtag control freak.
It works. Yes. And we've learned that we can continue to sell more and more homes each year with the same team if we just keep tweaking other parts of the business. But it doesn't mean we have to have 20 agents to sell 200 houses.
Again, I've said it so many times on this Team Builder show. There's no wrong way to do it. It's your business. You decide how do you want it to be, right? Lots of different models. Brian Ladd was just inside here. You talk to all these people and then you see the people that are very similar gravitate towards one another. And then you all go look around and go, what's it like having 30? Yeah. What's it like having 300? What's it like doing $1 billion in sales? I'm not sure if I want that, right? But that's okay. It's know thyself.
Exactly.
Okay. Switch gears and talk about culture.
Yes.
Right? So first of all, how do you define it? How do you execute on it? How do you maintain it? How does that work for you?
So culture for us is very much, we treat our team like a family. We get together at least once a week for lunch. We're having, coaching sessions. We're spending a lot of time together. We're in the
I want to be a part of your family. We eat together once a week and we coach each other.
Yes, that's what we do. It's really fun. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of hugs. Yes. There's a lot of support. Yeah.
Yes.
There are a lot of you got a minute phone calls. I'm happy to take those. I just want to be there for my team, just like I am for my clients. It's the same customer service, and we talk about that in our team meetings, which is you serve your clients like you serve your team. Yes. And as long as you're always coming from that place of service, you'll be successful because you will attract the people who want that. Yep. And that's our culture. And when we're doing role play and we're doing script practice, all of our lines come from, let's give people 5-star customer service. Let's be, the Neiman Marcus of realtors. We just want that reputation. And the more we speak it, the more it happens, which...
Okay, you just said it. You just said a phrase that makes my heart sing. Role play?
Role play.
How often does your team role play, and what do they role play?
So only once a week at team meetings, and we'll go through a scenario. Someone had a difficult conversation with a client, or you need a price reduction. This is a new one.
Price reduction. What's that?
I know. scary,
Google
scary
it.
place.
Yes.
So we have to, these are conversations our agents, only having been in the business 1 to 3 years,
Right.
have never had.
Right.
So we have to go through it, and we have to say, okay, you're going to be the client, I'm going to be the agent, and we practice.
Yes.
We find that the team really appreciates it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just Brian and I role playing in front of them and just gives them a laugh,
Right.
they can pick up some lines, they can build their confidence around having these conversations, and it works.
I love it. So let's talk about that for a minute. Clearly, inflation is real. We're in a recession. Now, the good news is, and interest rates are up.
Yes.
But all three of those things, in the case of housing, means home prices go up, but less transactions are done.
Right.
No one knows yet how many less transactions equals.
Right.
But many people are telling me, if we had 6.9 million houses sell last year, times 2 on buy side, sell side, that this year we could be 6.2, 6.3, right? So that's still a lot of transactions, but it doesn't feel like it.
Right.
So what are you doing today differently as an agent, as a team leader, to help your people that have only been in the business for 1 to 3 years navigate, going from 180 miles an hour to 120 and thinking that the world's falling apart?
Right.
What are you doing differently?
So this is a great time to polish your skills, right? Learn the script. Learn what you say when someone says, I'm going to take a break because the interest rates have gone up. I think I need a few months. I'm going to just rent and not buy. Even though we've been looking at homes for a year and I've made 1,000 offers, I'm just going to take a break. Yeah. So we're really working with our team on what do you say? Because they have each heard that over the last few weeks. And the panic has set in.
Right.
And everyone's taking a deep breath, and we say, okay, guys, let's slow down. Let's talk about how we're going to be the standout agents. We know now a lot of those new agents who came in over the last few years are going to filter
They're
out.
going to go, okay.
Right. Okay, bye-bye. I'm going to go, work at Chili's. Yeah. Great. So now with my team, I'm like, guys, this is your time. This is when you are going to crush it, because you're going to take all the skills you've learned. You're going to take all the knowledge and wisdom we have here in our team. Right. And you're going to crush it. And so they're a little scared, but honestly, the more we talk them through, this is going to be a nice balanced market. You're going to love it. Right. You're actually going to show a house, write an offer, and get it accepted in the same week. Yes. It's going to be amazing. Yes. So it's just talking to them, giving them confidence that everything's going to be okay. We've been here before. We know how to do this. Yes. Everything's going to be fine.
You're like, I started real estate in 2005.
Right. That was fun.
Right off the cliff. Right?
Exactly.
And you navigated that.
Yes.
Do you tell them about those experiences and those times and how it's different but the same? Like, of course. Because you have to pivot. You have to change.
We have to. And every time we pivot, just like we did going into COVID, we pivoted. We figured out how to do FaceTime tours and let's do Zoom open houses. Right. And it was amazing. And our team was like, whoa, okay, we're going to do this again. Right. So that's where we are. And we talk about short sales. We talk about foreclosures. Like all of these things we've lived through, we're going to help you. It's going to be okay. And then they just feel better. So
what's your prediction on what happens to the San Diego real estate market?
Oh my gosh, it's not going to stop.
Right.
It's coastal. It's California. I know. There's still tons of people coming in.
Yes.
And I don't think it's going to stop. I think we've hit a little bump in the road, and people are nervous.
Called 5.25% interest rates, or still? I mean, we're at like incredibly low amounts of inventory nationally, 350,000 properties, when in spring we should have like 1.25 million, right? It's pretty nuts.
The numbers are, I get the numbers from you. So whatever you say, I repeat back to everyone else.
Yes.
Hopefully
Yes.
They're 100% accurate.
Thank you, David Childers from This Week in Housing. Yes.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So, I mean, we know inventory is still very low. Interest rates are historically very low. Yes. So when I tell my team, when my parents bought their first home in San Diego, it was an 18% interest rate.
That's right.
And that was okay.
Yes.
And then it was 13%, and that was okay. So 5% historically is so low. Yes. And it's going to be okay.
Do you find you're selling like ARM products or interest only loans now? Are you bringing any of that stuff up, or does it even matter?
It doesn't really matter. It's starting. We're seeing it. Yeah. I've actually just this last weekend, we wrote an offer with a 10-year ARM, and it was the first time I'd really done that in a while. Right. So I do think that's going to come back to the market. Yeah. It's the way that, mortgages can be sexy again, is like, we can find you this adjustable rate. It's going to happen, and it's going to be fine. We've always had those products, and they've been fine. Exactly. And when you look at the equity, of the country and the percentage of homes that, could be quote unquote at risk, it's so small. Yes. Right? It's so tiny. But, you read the headlines, like some of your agents, oh my God, foreclosures have doubled. The sky is falling.
We went from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
Right? Not 400,000. No. Right? It's make sure you, when you read those headlines for the person listening, make sure you actually read the rest of the article.
And where is it?
Is it happening in La Jolla? Is it happening in Del Mar? I don't think so.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Okay, let's switch gears. Let's talk about marketing. I am such a fangirl because you personify what I dream about every single day for all my clients. Have a bunch of different lead sources, be the local expert, and your farming is second to none. And you have like 40% market share in your farm?
We do. Yeah.
Okay, give me the lead pillars. What are the most important lead pillars in your business today? So obviously we know it's going to be like past client centers of influence.
That's number one.
Right?
Sphere is number one. Right? And number two is geographic farming.
Geographic farming. What goes beyond there?
I mean, there really isn't much else.
You're like, that's all I need.
We used to do a lot of, lead generation, internet,
right.
Internet leads. We've really moved away from it. It wasn't necessary.
Yes.
And obviously the return is way better when we're working with people we know.
Yes.
Who like, know, and trust us. So that's been huge.
I think trust is overdone. We'll talk about this more at the summit. I'm going to share it there.
Okay.
But it is about likability more than ever right now.
Yes.
Like you have to have the track record. You have to have established trust. But now it's like, well, there's a lot of people that I can trust.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people that are good at selling real estate. But do I like you?
Right.
Just a little heads up for the people out there. If you're coming to the summit, you're going to hear all about this. Okay. How many homes are in the farm?
12,500.
Okay. That's a big farm.
Yes.
What's the turnover like?
The whole zip code.
It's the whole zip code. What zip code is this? We're warning everyone in San Diego to stay away.
Scripps Ranch, it's 92131.
Yeah.
So suburban San Diego, we're 10 miles due east of La Jolla.
Yes.
So we still have great access to downtown, to
yes.
La Jolla, and fabulous schools.
Yes.
Easy to sell all day long.
So if I'm in your farm, what happens on a monthly basis? And how long? How long? Was it always 12.5?
Oh, gosh, no.
Or did you start small and, okay.
We started with
You got very serious right there. Oh, no.
The spend is crazy. And that was always the scary part for me. I don't like spending money. It's very scary to spend money. So, no, we started literally with 250 houses, which is where I live. I did the 250 houses around where I live. And then slowly each year we've added on. And as the business has grown, we've been able to allocate more budget to marketing.
Right.
And now, we're up to about $10,000 a month just on the farm.
Okay. All right. So from over what period of time?
Oh, gosh. I probably started the farm in 2013, which is when I started coaching with Tom Ferry.
Yeah.
And now, so it's been almost 10 years.
Right.
And just slowly adding on until we cover the entire zip code.
I love that. When you talk to, the Eileen Riveras, the Nazars, the Josh Rubens, the Jill Biggs, all these like legendary Tim Smith, they all say the same thing. I started with like 500. It started to work, and then I grew it and grew it and grew it. How many? 125,000, right? But they didn't do that overnight, right? So I love the progression.
And it takes time. Like
it does
literally takes time. And Eileen used to scream at me like, don't quit yet, because I would want to pull back. Like it was uncomfortable spending all this money. And she would say, don't quit. I promise you, it might be 8 months, 10 months, a year before you get the first come list me call. But when you do, so worth it. So that's where we are now. And it's fabulous.
So the lessons are, 1, don't quit.
Don't quit.
But I would say number 2, start small.
Absolutely.
Do you get in like the weeds on the analytical side of like what should the average turnover be? Like, what's my, like how many mailings can I do before I get the first yes? And do you do anything other than mailings? Like, do you do some of that stuff?
Yeah, no, we do tons of other stuff. Brian is our analytical operations guy.
Yes.
So I'm over here like, let me just make it pretty. And Brian's over there like, well, how many of these?
Pretty profitable.
How many do we have to send out to get one come list me call?
Right.
And 100% we are tracking those numbers. Good. I'm just not personally, but it's working. We are doing everything. So it's mailers, which it's a beautiful glossy magazine that goes out once a month to the whole farm.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we're doing publications in our local newsletter. We're doing sponsorships at every one of our schools in the neighborhood. So we have 4 elementary schools, 1 middle school, 1 high school. Every place has our banner up. We sponsor every team. We sponsor every little league. We sponsor anyone that asks us or anything we know about.
Right.
Symphonies in the park, literally everywhere. So it's obnoxious. Like my kids are completely embarrassed by the whole thing.
We see you everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
It works.
Yeah.
I mean, it's embarrassing.
Yes.
I get embarrassed, especially when like my clients are like, we took a picture, we took a selfie at the grocery store with your big face on the hand sanitizer station. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. But we sell a lot of houses.
Actually, I would challenge you. Like you should actually do something like send out a postcard or an email to your database and say, we set an intention many years ago to be the local market expert of this zip code. Do me a favor. The next time you're out and about, if you see anything with our face on it, take a photo of it and tag me. And then I'm going to give away like one person gets a dinner to, Hoobie-Doo or something like that.
Sure.
You'd be blown away by how many people do it.
Okay.
Right. And it's like brand awareness, right? The number of times that like one of my kids, their buddies will go, I'm driving down the 55 freeway and I see the Tom Ferry, be like, your dad's building. Does he own that building? They're like, no, he pays rent in that building. Yes. But it's branding.
Absolutely.
It matters.
It does. It works. And it's annoying and embarrassing, just mostly for my children, but it works.
Yes.
So.
They'll get over it. Yeah. They'll get over it. Okay. So if you do all that, do you ever go knock on doors? Do you make phone calls? Do you ask your sales team to make phone calls? Where's the grittiness of this team?
Yeah, so there's still so much more. That's just the beginning. And then there's the email marketing and the social media that has to follow up and support all of this. Because we do run contests and we do Pet of the Month. People love sending a photo of their dogs. Hilarious.
That's an old 2013 Summit idea. I love that.
We still do it. It's so cheesy, but people just love to send in their pets. I mean, sometimes we get like a bird or a pig, but most of the time it's a dog, and it's hilarious. And they love it, and then they wait for it to come out in the magazine. It's the only reason some people read our magazine is for the Pet of the Month.
That is adorable.
And then we follow up. We follow up. So we get, people will use our QR code and check their home value. We're on the phone immediately with them.
Yes.
If it's a seller, we're on the phone.
Yeah.
If it's a buyer, we're on the phone 2 more minutes later. But it's a lot of follow-up. It's a lot of adding them to our database, getting them out into the email marketing ethos. And we still door knock. If we have a listing, we door knock usually the 50 homes around the listing before the open house, after the open house, once it goes pending, and when it closes. So
that would make Jeff Mays very happy.
Good.
Yeah. Get out there and tell him you just got it. Tell him what you did, right? Tell him what it sold for.
Yep, absolutely. And people love that. They respond well to that.
Yeah.
We make friends. We get more listings. Each time we get a listing, the goal is to get 2 more listings within the same pocket.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen every time. Our turnover rate is not as high as it should be in our zip code.
Yeah.
Inventory's low. But we're out there hustling every single day.
Well, you're still dominating the market. Do you think it's interesting that QR codes are so hot, like through the pandemic and even after? Like they came out in like 2011. I was at the NAR meeting when people were like, literally, like they would hand me their business card and go, here, look, my QR code's on it. I'm like, why do I need that? You just handed me your card. Like that just felt really dumb. Sorry if that was you. But now QR codes, I couldn't imagine doing a direct mail piece today without a QR code.
Right.
What have you seen in terms of impact?
So I love now they're getting really fancy. Like you can put your picture in the middle of the QR code. That's really cute. So I challenge.
Because you need one more place for your face.
Stick my no. So, but it's really cool. What I've noticed, especially generationally and with like my parents' generation, they're using QR codes now too. Yeah. And they think it's cool and they feel hip. And so they do it more just because it makes them feel good about their use of technology.
Yes.
So we're doing it on everything, even in our ads in the magazine, which have our information, but then the call to action comes with the QR code. Check your home's value. Here's the QR code. Yep. And they're doing it. And every month we get a higher return on the QR codes. So I think when our current target market is baby boomers, like we're looking to get them to sell. Yep. And so it's an amazingly steep curve of adoption rate of QR codes since COVID. So we're happy about it.
Congrats. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, QR codes. So Emma, as we wrap this up, first of all, I've got like 3 pages of notes in front of me. This is super fantastic. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes. So what's next? What's the next big iconic move for you?
So getting out of production, which is so scary because I'm a producer.
Why? Why are you doing that?
I want to move into other businesses, other companies, investing. We're starting into ancillary services. Yeah. We just started escrow and mortgage, and we're looking for the next opportunity. Thank you. So growth. In order to grow, and in order also to empower my team, which is what I really need to do, I need to let them start taking listings or serving the listings and moving myself into more of a, just moving into a role where I get to grow myself and grow my business and let the team continue to do the real estate. So it's scary.
Is it like the next challenge?
It is the next challenge. Yeah, because I've been doing this for a while. Yeah. And I feel like we're finally at that mastery level, which is so scary to say, but it's true. Yeah. And it's time to take a challenge and do something new and get out of my comfort zone. but it's how I'm going to grow. And it's how I've done it every 5 years. It's done something new. Yeah. It's been successful so far. So we'll see. I
can't wait. We'll have to do another podcast, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to have to hear way more about this. How many of the 159 transactions were yours last year?
100.
100?
Yes.
So how many effective, I just did this with one of my clients, and we determined she needed 8 people at net effective salespeople, based on her average sales price, transaction count, yada, 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 in order to replace just the personal volume. So, we're balancing that. Are you thinking the same, or are you just going cold turkey? What are you gonna do?
It won't be cold turkey. Yeah. It'll be a transition like everything else. Well, I'm a slow study, so it'll take a while. But the goal is to empower my team, and my buyer's agents will now become hybrid listing and buyer's agents.
Yes.
Let them start serving the listings, and we've done it slowly. We just over the weekend took a listing with one of our buyer's agents.
Good.
He'll do the entire thing, soup to nuts.
Yeah.
And it's super scary, and I feel like it's like my children, like letting them out of the nest. But it's going to be great, and I know once they're doing listings, I can slowly pull back. So. Because the listings are where the business is at.
That's where all the money is.
That's where the money is. So we've got to keep those going. Yes. But I think letting my team, especially because they're growing too, and we're letting them do more and more. We will probably add a couple new agents.
Yes.
I mean, I think we'll need to. But the goal is to stay small. We're really comfortable. Yeah. And just let them do more of the listing side. And I move more into I don't know, what is this role called over here?
Queen Bee?
Sure, I'll do that. Queen Bee. Yes. Thank you.
You even got my team laughing. That's good. Emma, thank you so much for being on the show. If somebody wanted to track you down, what's the best place for them to reach you? Is it on Instagram? Is it email? Is it giving your home number? Do you even have a home number?
I did until like a week ago. And then we finally cut the cord on the home number.
I love it.
Which was hard. No, I'm on Facebook is my primary. I'm such a dork, I know, but I'm old. So Facebook is where I'm at. Emma Baron Lefkowitz. And I'm on Instagram at Emma Baron Lefkowitz. And just call me.
Yeah.
I answer my phone.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. You're the best. All right. So, hey, make sure you check her out. Obviously, just a wealth of insight here. Make sure you listen to this a couple times. Maybe share it with a friend or two that's maybe gone through some of the hardships and they're still licking their wounds, and it's time to get over that and move forward. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, do all those fun things. More importantly, leave a comment and let me know, what did you get from today's show? I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you so much. Take care.